Once again, this is the CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. Nick Quaglia, Marv Ezhan, and Mike Molyneaux coming off of a massive win for the Patriots. If you look at the spread, it's 16 and a half points. I think they went to the game with yesterday, and it's one of those games where you're like, the Patriots are going to win. If they don't win, it's a problem. But 16 and a half points, a lot of points. It didn't even come close. 50-10. The Jaguars are terrible. Legitimately one of the worst football teams I've ever seen in my life. And I like get off topic real quick before we actually get on the show. I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence. I think this kid is going to be a good quarterback. I think he should be a good quarterback, but the Jaguars might just ruin his career.
Yeah, he's not in a good situation over there at all. It's not good for him at all.
Yeah, he's not in a good situation, but he's not playing great either.
No, but like what can you it's one of those situations like what can you do?
Yeah,
Starting to
I-
turn into a product of his environment. Like the team already sucked before he got there, still sucks now. And now this is a guy who had an amazing collegiate career, and he's just on a sucky team and sucky environment. So, and the team's obviously not going anywhere right now. He probably lacks motivation at the same time as well. So it's a lot of
that's true.
combination of things probably for him.
It's
That's
kind of
true.
like when the Bengals picked up Joe Burrow when they picked him first, and I was like, man, I hope the Bengals don't ruin this kid. They didn't. They didn't. The Bengals are nasty, and they're going to be one of the topics of conversation today. The Bengals. Listen, I'll give a little preview here with some of my thoughts going on in the future of the show. The receivers for Cincinnati, their running back, and the quarterback. That's a damn good football team that we should be afraid of. So let's jump into this conversation right here, real quick. The main topic, and I threw this to you guys out earlier, so it's an interesting conversation because the AFC is so wide open. And like Marv, you said in the chat earlier, anybody in the AFC, like if you told me they're going to go to the Super Bowl, it's possible. Any of these teams can go on a run right now. You can't really say who the best team in the AFC is because I don't want to say they're all equal, but they all can beat each other, and we've seen that now over the entire season at this point. The Chiefs have been down, the Colts have been down, the Patriots have been down, the Bengals are the Bengals. We don't even know who we're going to the final week after tonight. Tonight is Monday Night Football. We record this on Monday night, January 3rd. And tonight's game has implications potentially. There's a chance that the Steelers could still make it in to the postseason. So, guys, the main question right here of the show is out of the teams in the AFC that the Patriots could run into at any point, let's just say first round, let's keep it there. Even first couple of rounds, what team do you not want to see the Patriots have to face en route to, well, they're going to go through Wild Card Weekend. Let's say to the AFC Championship. What team do you not want to see the Patriots face en route to the potential AFC Championship?
Well, when you look at the AFC, like you mentioned, how I said, I feel like all of these teams could make it to the Super Bowl. And you look at the potential matchups that the Patriots are going to have on Wild Card Weekend, I think we can all agree the Patriots will be the underdog on whoever they face that first weekend, whether it's the Bills, Kansas City, Cincinnati, they're going to be the underdogs of that game.
That tells you
And
how crazy this AFC's been, though. Sorry to cut you off. That tells you how crazy the AFC's been because, like, 3 weeks ago, we were like, or the betting odds were that the Patriots were the best team in the
right,
AFC betting wise to go to the Super Bowl. And now you're here like, well, they might be the underdogs of the wild card round.
Crazy.
yeah, and it's crazy to think that, but a reason why the Patriots look like they can be an underdog against these teams is the lack of offensive prowess. They're not an offensive juggernaut. Yes, Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson, that's a great 1-2 punch that they have there offensively. Outside of that, you look at Mac Jones, he's been solid this year, but he's not a quarterback any team fears. You look at the weapons that Mac Jones has, no one fears any of those weapons. Yes, Hunter Henry in the red zone, maybe he's a key opponent that players will key on, but other than that, no one on the offensive weapon side you're really fearful with the Patriots, and that's why they'll be the underdogs. And when I look into a team that I would not want the Patriots to play, it's the two teams that faced just past week, Cincinnati and Kansas City. where they can put up a bunch of points early. And the Patriots have not proven that they can come back in an offensive game where they have to maybe go on a run of scoring 14, 15 points to come back in a game while the defense holds them out. And I think that would be a problem. If ironically, the team the Patriots probably would want to see is the Buffalo Bills, a team that they've seen twice now. Um, Josh Allen really brought it to them the second time around, but they probably want to see that team because they're more familiar with them and think that they'll be able to stop them since they've beaten them before and Belichick can game plan. But the other two teams, Cincinnati, you're not familiar with. Kansas City Chiefs, you're not familiar with. And those teams will cause Patriots a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I brought up the Bengals already, guys. They're scary. Like if the thing is with them is like if they get rolling and their offense starts to catch fire a little bit in the game, they're tough to beat. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got Boyd and you've got Jamar Chase, obviously, and we're going to talk about the offensive rookie of the year in a little bit. But you got Jamar Chase, and I feel like people forget because Jamar Chase had such a big start. T. Higgins is very good. T.
Of
Higgins is
course.
very good at football. So between Joe Burrow, who is when this guy is cocky, I feel like he's tough to beat, and he is feeling himself right now. He is confident. When he's smoking cigars, you don't want to get in his way. This guy scares me a little bit. But they just the weapons, and then like, okay, he's not going to throw the ball. They got Joe Mixon, who this show, the start of the year, we were like, do not draft him in fantasy football. Big mistake. That's why I came in last place in my league, just because I make stupid decisions like that. Joe Mixon is one of the top running backs in the league. So, Mike, let's go over you. Who is the team you do not want to see the Patriots play en route to the AFC Championship potentially?
So the one team that you both are talking about and giving a lot of high praise to is the Cincinnati Bengals. And while they've looked great. Their receivers, are dangerous. Joe Burrow's playing some great football right now. Mixon has found himself somehow, some way, and reverted back to being one of the better running backs in the league. Um, but while Marv said, it's a team that the Patriots aren't familiar with, and having the game plan against a team that you don't know too much about, you could say the same thing on the other side for the Cincinnati Bengals. They have to go up against Bill Belichick and the kind of game plan and defensive schemes that he's going to bring to the table. So while Cincinnati looks very great right now, it's not a team that I necessarily fear because while they all look fine and dandy with how they've been performing these last couple of weeks, facing Bill Belichick can bring upon different problems. And especially when we've seen the Patriots defense at their best, it looks like, because like you said, Nick, a couple of weeks ago, we was talking about this team as being a favorite to make a Super Bowl run. When this team, and especially their defense, is playing at their best, they look like they can possibly hang with anybody. Um, the Bengals have a great offense. Will we say they're the best offense in the league? I don't. You can have a conversation.
Maybe in a year or two.
Yeah,
They
maybe in
might
a
be.
year or two, they're probably in a conversation as one of the better offenses in the league, but I don't think they're the best. They're the top offense in the league. So I think the Patriots, you know, could be well prepared if they got in a matchup with them. At the same time, the two teams that I probably fear for the Patriots um, is the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and that offense slow start, but they've they've kind of got things rolling as the season has gone on, and that's always going to be a team with Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. That's always going to be a team that you fear, anytime, whether it be home or away. And the Bills, while yes, the Patriots have seen them two times now, I still just feel as if the Bills just have that extra juice in terms of a head-to-head matchup with the Patriots. Yeah, the Patriots got a pretty solid, dominant win the first time they played, and people will blame all the conditions and all. Patriots got a solid win against the Buffalo Bills the first time they played. And then on the flip side, Buffalo came to New England looking for blood and handled business. So yeah, these teams have had battles back and forth, but I still just feel overall Buffalo Bills as a team might be better than the Patriots at this current time and moment. So those are two teams right there that, while the Patriots have seen numerous times, the Patriots have seen Bills numerous times. The Patriots have faced off against Mahomes and that team numerous times, so they know each other really well. But I still would say, if I had to, call it right now, those are two teams that are definitely a little bit better than the New England Patriots right now. And that's not to say the Patriots are far off. I think, as Mac Jones continues to get better and develop, maybe you upgrade a couple of his weapons. Who knows? Patriots could be right there in terms of being one of the better offensive teams in the AFC. But right now, I still got to give the nod to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. So those are two teams that if you end up facing them in one of these early rounds, the wild card, or you make it to division or whatever the case may be, it could be tough for New England.
You know who I don't want? See, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. I think the couple times the Patriots have played them, even with Cam Newton, the Patriots. Wait, did the Patriots play the Chiefs last year at all? They did.
Oh, that wasn't Cam Newton.
It wasn't Cam.
wasn't
Cam
Cam
was out
Newton,
that
that
game.
was
That was Brian Hoyer.
And the Patriots had a chance still, right?
Bill Belichick and the defense held them in check. And that defense wasn't as good as this year's defense. The Chiefs, obviously, they worry me, but for some reason, I feel like Bill has Patrick Mahomes' number and knows how to defend him. The two teams that worry me the most, and it's because of the run game, are the Colts and team that a few weeks ago, if you told me that I'd be scared of this team going to the playoffs, I'd be confused as to why. And then you get the news that Derrick Henry's coming back. The Patriots can't stop the run. These guys stink against the run. They let Singletary get 39 yards, and the Bills, which isn't much, but the Bills' rush offense is horrific. He shouldn't even got 39 yards. With Derrick Henry coming back and Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, two teams with solid defenses. The Colts' defense, I think, is very, very good. They'll hit you in the mouth, and I think that's what they did with Mac Jones and the Patriots. Those are the two teams that scare me the most because their offense, rushing-wise, is some of the best in the league. And Derrick Henry coming back, fresh legs. This guy's had, a couple months off now? Since October, I want to say.
I mean, fresh legs is probably poor choice of words for a guy who's coming off an injury, foot injury, but
well, rest-wise. Fresh legs, rest-wise. I do not like the Patriots against a team that has that good of a running game. And again, Derrick Henry, rested legs, haven't been used in a couple months. And then Jonathan Taylor, who's been out of this world, insane. I don't want to see the Patriots play either of those teams. I really don't. Two defenses, too. And you guys brought up the Patriots playing from behind. I don't like that either. I don't like the thought of Mac Jones falling behind 10, 15 points, and then all of a sudden the Patriots have to fight back. Listen, we saw the Colts, there was one drive, if I remember correctly, where Jonathan Taylor just ran the ball the entire length of the field. Not in one burst of a play, just run, first down, run, first down, run, first down. I have not seen anything that's told me that that's not going to happen again. And I don't think running can necessarily win the playoffs, but I think it can win you a game in the playoffs. And maybe that's the first round. And again, I do not want to see the Patriots have to play a team with that good of a running game. That's solid of a running game. Not to get off topic real quick, but you know what I saw today on Twitter? Not a fan. It just jogged my memory and nothing to do with football here. I know you guys are boxing fans. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, those clips came up from that fight a few years ago. Talk about robbing me of my money. I should not have been, but that was such a boring fight. Again, very off topic, but it's on my mind.
It happened way too late. It should have happened years prior.
It was terrible.
And then on top of that, supposedly Manny Pacquiao was boxing injured, so he wasn't at full strength. Yeah,
it's somebody always got an injury.
It should have the fight should have happened. What year did that fight happen?
Happened maybe 2017.
It should have happened.
I was in college.
It should have happened like 2009.
Yeah, and especially like after seeing the Fury Wilder fight, the last one, like that really showed how boring the Pacquiao Mayweather fight was. Because that Fury Wilder fight 3, that was an insane fight.
Heavyweights is what brought boxing to its dominance. Obviously, off-topic show, but heavyweight division is always going to be more exciting
Yeah,
than
I'm gonna text our incredible producer and be like, "Hey, put this in the show. This is this is the boxing segment on the Patriots Roundtable." All right, rookie of the year. Mentioned this earlier. The
offensive.
offensive rookie of the year. Mac Jones he was the favorite for a while. And then Jamar Chase kept doing Jamar Chase things. And by the way, preseason, he's dropping balls. He makes one comment he probably shouldn't have made because, the media's going to take it and run with it, where he was like, I think it was something along the lines of like, this ball's tough to see. It's tough to see because the white line isn't on it, blah, blah, blah. And he's making those comments to be like, can Jamar Chase not catch? What idiots. What a dumb thing to put. This guy is going to be elite in this league. It's early to say that. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase are going to be a problem for a long time. For a long, long time. It's even got get a little ahead of myself here. It's what I like to do. It's got a little bit of a hint of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams.
Jeez.
That connection is pure. This connection. I mean, these guys, it's not like this is brand new. Like, these guys were in college together. Insane. So, Jamar Chase, let's read off his stats before we actually ask you guys the question. Jamar Chase, 79 receptions, 1,429 yards, 13 touchdowns this season. Great stat line for a rookie. And then Mac Jones, I don't have to really read off the line for you because you're watching this, you're probably a Patriots fan. You guys have seen the eye test here with Mac Jones. Obviously, he should be in contention for Rookie of the Year. Team's in the playoffs. Team missed the playoffs last year. Team puts him as quarterback. He's in the playoffs now with the Patriots. So, guys, this is kind of a two-parter. Who do you think will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year between these two? And who do you think should win? So, it's kind of two different questions. Who should win in your mind, but who is going to win?
Who should win?
Who wants it?
Who should win is Jamar Chase. He has put up these numbers with Joe Burrow, and it's been absolutely ridiculous to watch some of the highlights from these games and what he's doing and the catches he's making, and especially even that last game where he broke like the rookie single game record for receiving yards, I believe, that was previously held by Justin Jefferson. That's the game right there that really snatched it. I mean, that's the game that really solidified it. I think it was already trending in that direction of him winning. Mac Jones, while he was definitely in the conversation, people were definitely making the debate that Mac Jones should win the award. He had a stretch of about 2 to 4 games where, he wasn't doing much. He wasn't playing the way that he looked previously, where he had people looking at him like, this guy could be the Rookie of the Year. This rookie quarterback looks like, he's the guy who could take home that award. He had a couple of games there was looking really slow for him. And I think with those stretch of games, I don't remember. I know that Indianapolis game was one that really took him down a couple of notches.
Well, you know what I think really jump-started this conversation, which, is against – he can't do anything about it, but the bad weather in Buffalo.
Yeah.
3 pass attempts. People were like
that up.
– yeah, people were like, if this guy can't throw more than 3 passes, even in this bad weather, you got Josh Allen slinging it, but Josh Allen's got an insane arm.
Yeah.
Then,
and then it was Indy after that, I believe. They faced Indianapolis, and that wasn't a great game for him. So between those couple of games there, I think that's where the steam kind of fell off behind Mac Jones being in real consideration for Rookie of the Year. I mean, he wasn't completely knocked out because at the end of the day, like you said, Nick, this is a guy who has taken a team and has kind of led them to, a playoff berth on a team that didn't make the playoffs last year. But with this last game that Jamar Chase had, breaking that record and, just being consistent throughout the whole season, where Mac has kind of had a little bit of a roller coaster ride. I think Jamar Chase should win it. He deserves to win it. Mac Jones should definitely, be commended for the type of season he has at 22 years old, coming into a organization like the New England Patriots, where the expectations are high, especially you kind of playing in the shadow of a guy who was there dominant for 20 years. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I think coming into the Patriots organization, he came in and he's said all the right things to the media. He's taken a beating in the pocket, but he still has managed to put this team in a position to win and enter the playoffs. So while Mac Jones definitely should be in consideration, Jamar Chase is the one that's going to take home the award for sure.
Marv, here's an additional question for you. Let's
All right.
say no matter who wins, do you think, because there are going to be people who think Mac Jones should win, there are going to be people who think Jamar Chase should win. Do you think that if, let's say, Mac Jones wins, like it's a terrible decision? And same question for like Jamar Chase. If Jamar Chase does win, is it a terrible decision? Like, do you think there's an argument there that people could be like, no, this person 100% deserved it? Because frankly, I think you could throw to either of them, and it would be a fine decision. I'm leaning more one way, but I think you could make the argument for sure for both of them to win the award.
I think if Mac Jones wins it, you're gonna hear more rumblings of, oh man, that should have really went to Jamar
Jamar got
Chase.
robbed. He got robbed.
Yeah, you won't hear much rumblings other than some people in New England about Mac Jones being robbed or not getting the offensive rookie of the year. I agree with everything Mike said. It should be Jamar Chase, and Jamar Chase, I believe, will win it. I think the magic number here is 266. 266 yards. Like, can we just sit and think about that for a second for a receiver?
A rookie.
266 yards is a force. Like, I remember just looking at that in the screen. I'm like, yo, what the hell am I looking at? Like, is this real? And when you saw Jamar Chase to start off the season, you know, Burrow was throwing him some bombs, and that's how he was getting his touchdowns. Probably having like 3 receptions, but this one bomb a game, and you're like, oh, this isn't sustainable. It's sustainable. That's what he's been doing all year. He just finds a way to get open and get these bombs. And he has a quarterback that he has a rapport with for years now. And like you said, Nick, this is that's going to be a very scary tandem. And that's what Cincinnati was hoping for when they drafted Chase. So I think Jamar Chase deserves it. He's more dynamic. You can't we obviously, if Mac Jones wins it, it's because he's a quarterback, and people are going to say, well, the quarterback of the team, he's leading his team to the playoffs. But
That would
you,
legit be the only reason why he would win.
Yeah.
that's why people. But now you're looking at Jamar Chase, and you can make the argument that the Cincinnati Bengals are in the position that they're in because they have Jamar Chase, and now they're in the playoffs. And some people might say that they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year due to the fact of their offensive weapons, obviously including Joe Burrow having a big part of it. But Jamar Chase is going to be the number one person that teams circle around. T. Higgins is great. Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase is the most dynamic player on the field, and he's the one that you gotta watch out for. And that's the person the teams are going to game plan against. He's the offensive rookie of the year. I don't think it's too close. Mac Jones has been great. He's been solid. He's been the best rookie quarterback out of all the rookie quarterbacks that's been drafted, and we've gotten to see play. Like what we've seen Trevor Lawrence this past week, got a chance to see Trey Lance a little bit, Justin Fields. None of these guys look like they really took a grasp of this year, and they might be great going forward. But right now, it's Mac Jones who leads that camp, and he should be in second place for offensive rookie of the year. But Jamar Chase has this hands down, and we got to stop just giving quarterbacks awards because they're quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been amazing this year, but the MVP has come to a point where it's like it's a quarterback competition. That's all it's come down to. Because like even that awards, like you could for sure make the argument that, and I think we debated this on the show.
Yep.
You could make the argument that Jonathan Taylor could be the MVP, but he's not going to win. He's not a quarterback. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
What will it take? Because I mean, winning MVP as a receiver or can't even think of a receiver that's won it, or a running back is very hard. What does it take to win? Because you would think Jonathan Taylor should get it.
I mean,
What does it take for a running back to get that award? Why is it
it
just
would
automatically paid? I mean, sorry, I was about to say page. Why is it automatically a quarterback?
I think it'll be damn near impossible for a receiver to win it because for a receiver, you're depending on the quarterback. And if you're going to be getting MVP talks as a receiver, that means your team's probably pretty damn good, and your quarterback most likely is pretty damn good, and they're going to look at the quarterback. Like, you're not going to see many receivers with 20 plus touchdowns and their quarterback's ass.
Like,
With a running back, it's not easy, but it's easier because you're not really depending on the quarterback or anyone else. It's more of your ability and the offensive line on how you do.
like was Moss in 2007? Was he even in consideration for MVP?
Probably was.
Breaking that
Probably, but
record.
who was throwing him the football?
I mean, I
Like,
get that, but I'm like, was there ever talk about, hey, Moss got 23 touch? Like he gets canceled out. Receivers get canceled out because of their quarterback, which is crazy to think. All these receivers who put up amazing numbers throughout the years, the Julios, the Megatrons, the Antonio Browns, these guys never, they'll get talked of, oh, great receiver, best receiver in the game, but like
You are.
never hear about wide receiver. MVP kind of considerations, which is wild to think about. Just a thought that ran through my head.
Do you know who the last non-quarterback was who won MVP?
Peterson,
Peterson, yeah.
Adrian Peterson, 2012. Before that, it
Ray Lewis.
was another offensive player.
Running back?
Sean Alexander.
2005, but this is 2006.
Did Sean Alexander win it?
Yeah, he did. 2005.
So last the 2006.
2006.
Who was on the cover of Madden?
You remember? I don't know if he was on the cover of Matt. He might have been.
Peyton Hillis? No.
LaDainian
Chill out, bro.
Tomlinson.
That makes sense.
LaDainian
Okay,
Tomlinson, yeah.
That makes sense.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Remember how nasty he was?
LaDainian Tomlinson, the force.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, I'm basically saying the same thing that you guys are saying here. Mac Jones, great year, especially for a rookie, but you could make the argument that he could be the MVP. I mean, the rookie of the year. But listen, if Jamar Chase doesn't win rookie of the year, that's BS. This guy, he's like Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback. I think that's a foregone conclusion right now. He's the best rookie quarterback of the year. But the difference to me is Jamar Chase is not only probably the best rookie wide receiver. I think that's fair to say. He's one of the best receivers in general right now. He's one of the best receivers in the NFL right now. So I think that's the distinction right there. Like he's just not separating himself from other rookies. He's separating himself from other players, other receivers in the league, which is why I think if Jamar Chase doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year, that's insane. I think he even said yesterday, like, I should win this award, which
he's right. He's damn right. You should.
Listen, the Bengals, they're confident. They're cocky. I love it. They scare me.
I like Joe Burrow, man. I really like Joe Burrow. He's what you guys thought Baker Mayfield would be.
And that shit, that really pisses me off. I really had a lot of high hope in Baker Mayfield making an impact in this league. And he's still young. It's not like over for him, but it's very slow for that guy right now.
We Marv, me, you, Alex, and wasn't there somebody else who did that draft where Baker won number one?
Yes.
That was the Sony Michel year.
Yeah.
Sony
Who else
Michael.
was there? I don't remember who else was with us.
There was somebody else there, and you know what? Now I feel bad because I apologize if we forget there was somebody else there. There was a fourth person. Nick Quaglia, Marv Ezhan, and Mike Molyneaux, guys. We're gonna be back next week with, I guess, a preview of the playoffs. We're gonna at that point know the Patriots' opponent for the playoffs. So, looking like it could be the Bills. Which, if it is, it's gonna be electric. It's gonna be an electric night. Twitter is going to be wild. Buffalo fans,
Yes,
Patriot fans. Listen, these people, they're taking personal digs at each other. I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit on Twitter, guys. But it's a cesspool.
It's a real rivalry now. It's great. Yeah. I love it.
I do too. People getting real mean to each other. Just read through some of the comments, and it gets vicious. All right, Nick Quaglia, Marv Ezhan, Mike Molyneaux, guys. We will talk to you next week. Thank you for watching.